My name is Paul Teodo, and I am a yoga and meditation teacher, originally from Chicago, moved to Los Angeles, spent 10 years in Los Angeles, and now I actually live in Bali, Indonesia. So we're coming to you live from Bali. Those are real roosters that you're hearing in the background. So as we're practicing today, you're going to hear some roosters and some hens. That's just what it's like over here in Bali. It's a magical, magical place. So why don't you send me some likes so I know that people are listening and I can tell that the voice is coming through clearly. So send me some likes if you're watching, please. Good? Cool. All right, awesome. So for today, what we're going to work on is we're going to work on some simple yoga poses and yoga stretches to target two of the places where we carry our tension the most: the back of the neck and the shoulders, and the hips, lower back. So Americans, what we do, we spend several hours driving in a car, we spend several hours typing at a computer, and what that does is it jams your shoulders up. Your shoulders get tight and tense, and you walk around like this, and it's not fun. What else does it do? You sit at a desk 6-7 hours a day, or you're sitting in a car for several hours a day. Your psoas, the front of your legs, gets very tight. The lower back gets tight. So we're going to do these simple yoga stretches to open up these places in your body. It's not going to be an incredibly physically rigorous little workout today. It's going to be more just stretching and breathing and learning how to open up those places in the body. So what you need today is a t-shirt or a towel, just something that you can have for your shoulders. So if we do some of these stretches, you might not be able to reach your hands like this. So what you'll be doing is you're going to use the towel, or you'll be using the t-shirt to aid you. It's basically a prop. So go grab a t-shirt or a towel if you don't already have one, and then we'll get started in just a moment. Brief little story about me. I've been practicing yoga for 7 years now, and it's completely transformed my life, yoga and meditation. And it opens up your body. It opens up your body not just physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. So you'll notice as you start to release tension in these places in your body, you're going to feel better emotionally. You're going to realize that a lot of times we carry stuff in the shoulders, in the hips, and the lower back. So being flexible physically will really result in being more open and available emotionally as well. Okay, so let's get started. So first thing we're going to do is just a simple forward fold. But actually before we do that, what we're going to start with is a pose called Tadasana. So I'm just going to have you stand still with your feet parallel and your feet hips width. And I want you to stand with your palms facing out. And I want you to close your eyes, press your feet down into the ground, and just a little bit, imagine that you have a string on the top of your head and your upper body is being lifted up. So you're standing confidently. Close your eyes, and then take 2 or 3 breaths here. Deep breaths in and out of the nose. Okay. Open up your eyes. Take a nice big inhale and reach your arms up. Take your right hand, drop it down. Reach your left arm up and lean over. Take a side stretch here. Press down through your left foot just as much as your right foot. Keep the energy moving inward on the pelvis, so you're stretching your side body right now. Nice. Take the right arm back up and switch sides. So the right arm is up, left arm to the side. Lean to the left, stretching your right side. As you're stretching the right side, press down through the right foot so you have an equal amount of weight on both your feet. Nice. Come back up to center. Both arms come up. Make sure the feet are open again, about hips width. Take a tiny little bend in your knees, and then fold forward. From this forward fold, grab your elbows and just hang like a rag doll. So
what we're targeting here is you're opening up the backs of the legs, but you're also using this as an opportunity to relax the neck. So allow your whole upper body to go soft. Feel your head get heavier. Feel your jaw relax. And now take about 4 or 5 deep breaths here. Okay, release your elbows. Take your fingertips down to the ground. Again, keeping a tiny little bend in your knees. Move from your fingertips down on the ground. Take your hands to your shins. And then I want you to inhale and I want you to pull your sternum forward. Push your butt back just a little bit. So you're coming into a flat back. I'm going to demonstrate this like this. So hands come to shins. Inhale, lengthen out halfway. Lengthen the spine. Press down through the front of your feet. And on your next exhale, go ahead and fold forward. And let's do that one more time. Inhale again, hands to shins, sternum forward, shoulder blades back. Exhale, fold forward. Good. On your next inhale, this time reach your arms all the way up, stand up. And then take your hands to your heart. Okay, let's get back to opening up those shoulders. So you're going to grab your prop, your towel or your t-shirt. You're going to have it in between. You're going to interlace it behind you. And then you're going to come back to that stance where your feet are about hips width apart. Keep a tiny little bend in the knees. As you inhale, lift your chest up just a little bit. Then as you exhale, you're going to fold forward over your legs. This time with the towel, opening up your shoulders. If you don't need the towel, what you can do is you can interlace your hands behind your back, push your knuckles away from your head, and then watch this. So watch the back of the neck and my shoulders. I'm going to pull my knuckles away from my head to create more space around the back of the neck. And then just like we did earlier, let the head get heavy. So let gravity pull the tension out of the back of your neck. Couple breaths here, just holding still. Nice. Okay, go ahead and release your hands. And now you're going to take what's called chair pose. So you're going to bend your knees, drop your hips, and then reach your arms up. Chair pose. Move the weight to the back of your feet. This is our first more active pose. This is going to create a little bit of heat around the thigh bones, your glutes. And then watch me here. So a lot of times what I see in chair poses is people have their elbows out. They're like, oh, what's wrong? This doesn't feel good. Well, it's because you're jamming into your neck. So what you should do, spin the triceps down, reach through the fingertips, and watch how, again, the back of the neck and my shoulders is opening up as I'm strengthening my body. So we don't want this. We want this. Keep it easy. Couple more breaths here. This is what's called an uncomfortable silence. All right, stand up. Take your hands to your heart. Take your hands to your hips. Open up your feet about 3 to 3.5 feet apart. Keep your feet parallel. You're going to grab that towel again. Keep a tiny little bend in your knees. Take the towel in between your hands like we did before. Take a nice big inhale. Lift your chest as you exhale. Fold forward again. Keep the weight on the outer feet and the front of your feet. Now relax your face. Squeeze your inner thighs up just a little bit. It's going to help you find more stability in this posture. 2 more breaths. release your hands. Take your fingertips down on the ground, lengthen out halfway, we did this earlier, and then fold forward again. Bend your knees a couple inches, take your hands to your hips, and then stand up. So here we are again. Bringing your feet about 6 to 8 inches closer together, you're going to open your feet to about 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. So left foot's at 10 o'clock, right foot's at 2 o'clock. You're going to grab your best friend, your towel, and you're going to take your towel in your right hand, and you're going to reach the arm up with your right hand. This pose I actually would recommend everybody grab a towel, because most of you are not going to be able to do the final version of it. So grab this towel in the right hand, left hand out, and then spin your left fingertips down. Watch me. Spin the fingers down. Bend your right elbow, take your right hand down your back. Bend your left elbow, take your left arm up your back. So you're doing this. Okay, so you're grasping with the towel. Your legs haven't moved, I just did that so you guys could see it. And now you're going to bend your knees and sink into your legs for goddess pose with Gomukhasana arms. This is kind of intense, but it's actually one of the best ways to open both your hips and your shoulders at the same time. So what tends to happen here when you're new with this pose is you stick your butt up and you puff your chest up. This is not what we want. What we want is you want to drop the tailbone and lift the back ribs. So you're not at a club, you ain't dancing, you're just lifting up. Cool? So hold that for another breath or two. See how it feels. Another uncomfortable silence. Okay, so you're going to stand up, release the legs, release the arms, maybe keep your towel on your shoulders, take your hands to your hips, and for 2 or 3 times, roll your shoulders backwards, and now roll your shoulders forwards. 3 times. Good. Now you're going to take that towel in the left hand, reach the left arm up, reach the right arm out, spin the right thumb down, bend your left elbow, take your left arm down your back, bend your right elbow, take your right arm up your back. Same pose as before. We'll hold it for about 30, 35 seconds. Again, don't puff the chest up, don't stick your butt up, drop the tailbone, lift the back ribs. 5 or 6 breaths here. Opening the shoulders and the hips at the same time, with our good friends the roosters cheering you on. Couple more breaths. Sink into those legs, maybe a little bit more. So there's always going to be one side that's tighter than the other side. This is my tighter side. This is a little bit more uncomfortable for me. And I've been doing this stuff for a long time. Alright. Stand up. Release the strap or the towel. Take your hands to your hips. Roll the shoulders again 3 times. Now 3 times forward. And then push your heels out again. Parallel your feet. And we're going to take that same pose that we did earlier, just a simple forward fold with the towel or without the towel. Interlace your hands behind your back or use the towel. Lift your chest and then fold forward again. So by this point, the shoulders and the hips and the legs should start to feel a lot more open than they were. Same thing as before. Push the knuckles away from your head. Watch how that creates space around the back of my neck. Fingertips come down, pull the sternum forward, bend your knees 1 inch or 2, stand up. Okay, from here, bring your feet about 18 inches to 2 feet apart. Again, having the toes open to about 10 o'clock and 2 o'clock. Take your hands to your heart and then follow along with me. You're going to slowly start to bend your knees, come all the way down into Malasana yoga squat. So this is one of the best poses you can do to open up your hips and your lower back. If you have lower back issues, definitely go see a chiropractor first or go see a doctor. But a lot of times what they will give you, a chiropractor, if you have lower back issues, is they'll have you hold this pose for a couple minutes. So obviously, again, I'm not a doctor, but this is one of the best poses you can do. So with here, push down through your outer feet, hands to your heart. Feel your lower back drop down and feel your upper back lift up. So watch this. What I see a lot is too much rounding in the spine. Press the palms together. Lower back drops down, upper back lifts up, opening the chest. Lengthening the spine. And from here we're going to take a little twist. It's going to feel really nice. Take your left hand down to the ground. And now reach your right arm up. Look at your right thumb as you press the left hand down. We'll take the second side, hands to your heart. Right hand comes down, left arm reaches up. Look at your thumb, open the chest. Good. All right, hands back to your heart. Slowly stand up, reach your arms up. Take your hands to your heart. Okay. Couple hip stretches, we're almost finished and we'll be done. Okay, so from here, we're going to start standing at the front of your yoga mat or actually wherever you are is fine. You're going to step your left foot back. You're going to open your feet up hips width. So your feet are hips width apart. You're going to bend your right knee to 90 degrees and you're going to straighten your left leg. Take your left fingertips down onto the ground and then reach your right arm up for a twist. If this is too intense for you, drop your left knee down, that's fine. But if your left leg is up, it should be straight. Actively press your left thigh bone up, pull your right hip in. Reach the right arm up. Twisting one. A lot of animals coming here to say hello. Okay, right hand comes down, drop your left knee down, and then reach your arms up. Sink into your right leg, pull your rib cage up. Low lunge. So you're stretching. A lot of times when people take this low lunge, they're worried about the right leg, but what I'm actually more interested in is you stretching the front of your left thigh bone. So think the back leg. How do I stretch that? You slide the back leg back a little bit, and then you lift up through your lower abdomen, reach the arms up and lean back just a little bit. That's going to stretch that left side. That's the psoas. This is the muscle that gets tight from sitting at a desk or sitting in your car. 2 more breaths here. All right, hands come down. Step your left foot forward. Take your hands to your shins, lengthen out halfway. We did this earlier. And then fold forward. Step your right foot back. Take your right fingertips down underneath your right shoulder. Open your hips halfway and take that twist. So again, the right leg is straight. The left hip draws in, opening the chest. If this is too intense, drop your knee down. It's fine. Take a couple breaths here to really feel that twist.
Left hand comes down. Right knee drops down, low lunge. Reach your arms up. And again, so what leg are we focusing a little bit more on? The back leg. Sink into your hips, but keep the left knee and the left ankle stacked. The front leg and the front ankle are stacked as you reach the arms up. Draw your navel in and up, and lift up through your heart to stretch your right leg. All right, hands come down. Step your right foot forward. Hands to your shins. Lengthen out halfway. As you exhale, fold forward. Bend your knees. And go ahead and sit down onto the ground. We'll take our last two stretches here. First stretch, Baddha Konasana. Bottoms of the feet together. Lift the heart and fold forward. Really start to slow your breathing down and start to deepen your exhales. So it's those deep exhales that really help you relax and feel safe. So notice if it's hard for you to exhale deeply, and notice if you feel uncomfortable pausing at the bottom of your breath, and try to work on that. So that's usually related to, I'm afraid of letting go of control. And when you're in a safe place, it's good to let go of control. Last stretch, go ahead and sit up, straighten the legs out, reach your arms up, fold forward, maybe just take your hands to the ground, pull the chest forward just a little bit. Some of you might be able to grab the toes. If you can, grab the toes, but don't pull really hard. A lot of times when people develop lower back pain from yoga, it's because they're pulling too hard in their forward fold. You don't want to pull so hard, you just want to ease up into it. Couple breaths here. All right, go ahead and sit up. Cross your legs for a moment. Take your hands to your shins. And I invite you to just, after this practice, just to sit still for about 5 minutes. Meditation is just as important of this practice as yoga. And I know that PaleoHacks is actually bringing in a meditation teacher, who's a friend of mine, to teach you how to meditate. So after practicing yoga, always want to meditate. Even if it's just for 5 minutes, it will change your life. Just as much as the physical practice will change your life, the mental practice of meditation is going to transform you as well. Thank you so much for joining me. My name again is Paul Teodo, that's T-E-O-D-O, with PaleoHacks. So this concludes our first session with you today, and I'm going to stay and answer some questions. If anybody has any questions, feel free to fire away. Any questions? Cool. All right. Well, thank you so much. I'll be back next week.